So far what I've covered. Whoever has joined today, so let me tell you people what I've covered. So I was just I've started with Java platform, uh, and then we have discussed about Eclipse IDE in the last class. So Java platform where I've discussed about JVM and API. What is JVM? What is API? And Eclipse IDE just to create a project. That is what we did so far. So in the first class, I was talking about there was another session, the first beginning session. It was just introduction to the training. That's it. So where I've just mentioned the topics which we'll be covering and the training schedule and all. Yes, this is what we did so far. Okay, so the real programming we have to start. So whatever you people have missed, so I'm going to provide you the records for this. Okay, so each session is recorded. You'll have both audio and video. So I'll give you the access to the records which you people have missed. You can go through them. You didn't miss much here. Yes, so nothing to worry much. Okay, yeah, fine. Let's start. Before that, let me just talk to another attendee, Nagaturan. Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, hi, Mahesh.
Yeah, hi. This is your first class, right?
No, this is my second class. My name is Tarun. I talked with you yesterday.
Okay, fine, fine. Nagataruna.
Yeah,
Okay, I thought it is Nagaturan. Sorry. My mistake. I
yeah.
was just reading it as Turan instead of Tarun. Yeah, sorry. Okay, fine. So let's start. So today, yes, I'm going to talk about the structure of a Java program. First, we'll start with the structure. So, um, you know, uh, as I told you, people like always will write Java code inside a class. We have to define a class. So if you got any instructions, if you want to write any instructions, you need to define a class always. And inside the class itself, you'll write the code. And that too, you'll not write the code directly in the class also. You have to define a method. And inside the method, you'll have the code. You see, as of now, uh, we got a class here called as test. So always we'll define a class using this keyword class followed by a name to the class. This keyword class is predefined. Keywords means predefined itself, predefined words. And here you see the test is user defined. We are giving a name to this class, and always the class has got a body. It begins with left curly brackets, and you see it ends with right curly brackets here. So the whole thing here which you got, this is called as a class body. Yes, and within the class you got a method called as main. The name of the method is main, and you can think of it as a subunit in the class. As of now, for time being, you can think of it as a subunit in the class. You see this is part of here. This is the method body. Yes. So inside the method you got the instructions which you're going to write. Yes. So this is how you know this is a this is how you will write any instructions. First define a class, define a method, and within the method you have to write the instructions. So what about this public static void, and what does that means? You'll come to know about it soon. Okay, don't worry. Yeah. So, and one important thing, always the class name, public class name. You see, this class is declared as public here. This class name should match that file name. You see, test.java. This is source file here, which you got test.java. Always the class name and file name should match. Java is case sensitive. Java is very much case sensitive. It always considers caps T and small t as different. Okay, any letters, not only T, but any alphabet, it differentiates them. Okay, small small case letters and uppercase letters are different. They're not same. You see here, small t and caps T as different. They're different for Java. They're not same. Okay, they're different for Java. So you have to make sure that even the case is also exactly same, the class name and the file name. And you see, this is the extension .java which we use for a Java program. Okay, fine. Now, one more thing here. How many classes can we define in a source file? So what do you people think? Any guess? If you know the answer, you can tell me. So how many classes can we define in a source file? So actually, in a class, you can define any number of classes. Sorry, in a source file, you can define any number of classes. Okay, in a source file, you can have any number of classes. There won't be any issues in that regard. Okay, yes. So, but there is one restriction here. You can add any number of classes. You can define any number of classes in the source file. But one restriction is there should be only one public class. There should be only one public class here. Okay, that's the restriction. We should have only one public class. So for suppose you see I can add another class here, not an issue. For suppose class order. Okay, you see it takes it. How do I know if there are any errors? You know, they will if there are any errors in the program, if there are any errors, you know, they will be displayed here itself with the red mark. Okay, yeah, just a second please, just a second. So sorry, so you see you can do this. Now if there is any error, how will you know? For suppose let's say there is an error, so syntax error. uh, what is a syntax error? For example, you see in Java you'll find that always a statement should be ended with a semicolon. I mean the instructions especially. So if there are any method calls, if you write any instructions, they have to be ended with a semicolon. I'll remove the semicolon here. You see in line number 5. I'll remove the semicolon in line number 5. So if I do this, you see, you'll get an error. What is the error here? It says syntax error, insert semicolon to complete the block statements. You'll get an error. Okay, so this is a compilation error. So um, you'll see a red mark. Okay, if there is any error, immediately Eclipse ID what it does is it will display that error message. Okay, if you just place the cursor on that red mark, you can see that message, error message. The error message is for the error is for what reason, you'll get those details. Okay, yeah, fine. So now you see this is everything is fine here. There are no compilation errors. If there are any compilation errors, you should see them here itself. Okay, a cross mark will be shown. Fine. This way you can add any number of classes. Okay, yes. So Rupa, just now we have started. I'm talking about the source file. Yes, the rules which you need to follow, the structure of your Java program here in the source file. Okay. So now we can add any number of classes here. Okay, in a source file, but make sure that only one class is public class. What if I declare another class as also public here, then it is an error. See, we can't do this. You cannot add more than uh, more than one public class to a source file. Okay. Yes. So what it says, you know what? I have a request. Um, you please try to read the errors carefully. Okay. There is a lot to understand in the errors. The behavior of a programming language, you can understand it, how it works. You know, the help of errors. Yes. You see what it says? The public type order must be defined in its own file. It says public type. Type means, it's a synonym for your class. We also use this term type for the class. It's a synonym for the class, I can say. Okay? Type or class means the same. What it says? The public type order must be defined in its own file. Yes, please make sure that you define this public class in its own file. Own file means define order.java class file. Okay, create another file with the name order.java and you have to add it there. So if it is public, so here you can't do this. But okay, one class uh, without a public keyword is allowed. Fine. And generally, you'll find that here in the public class itself, you'll add that main method as well. Main method. So what is the significance of main method here? What is the significance of main method? It runs without calling, and I can say that this is your starting point of your program execution. Always your program starts execution from the main method itself. And if you people are familiar with C++, you know, this is similar to a C function or sorry, C or C++ function called as main. In C++ also you got main function. So whenever you run a C or C++ program, you know that it starts execution from the main function. Here also in Java, you see that concept is simply borrowed. Yes, even in Java, if you run a program, if I run this test class now, it starts execution from the main method itself by default. So we don't need to call it. And what if there is no main method here in this class? For suppose instead of naming it as main, what if I give some other name? Let's say run. Will it work? If I run this code, what happens? So, you know what? Uh, if you try to run this code, you'll get an error. It says main method not found. But at first place, your Eclipse itself will not give you the option to run this application. Normally, how will you run the application? Uh, as I told you people, you have to right click on this class, and you have run as option, right? Run as, under this you'll see run as Java application. There will be an option called as Java application here, run as Java application. But you see that option is missing. We don't have that option now here. Okay, so that at first place, Eclipse itself will not give an option to run this code now because there is no main method, so you cannot execute this code. Okay, yes. So now let's add main method. Let me name it as main. Now you right click on this, run as. You got the Java application option here. You see, earlier this was missing. Okay, select it. Okay, it works. You got the output here. So this is how it works in Java. These are the rules which you need to remember while creating a source file and while defining the classes. Yes. So is it clear for you people? Any questions in this regard? Please let me know. Yes. Any questions? I'm waiting. No? Okay. Um, Now, I have a question. I thought someone will ask this question. Do we need to add main method to every class? Are we supposed to add main method to every class? I can say no. Okay. You need not add main method to every class. Um, you know, you'll find that generally for an application there will be only one main method. Okay. You'll find that for an application you'll have only one main method. Okay. Yes. So no need of defining a main method for every class. Yes, you see, in order class there is no main method. Still, it won't throw any error. Okay, now let's move on. So now I'm going to talk about primitive data types. Primitive data types. So what are primitive data types? Yeah, built-in or very basic data types. I can say very basic. A string is not primitive data type. It's a class in Java. So primitive data types means the very basic data types, okay, fundamental data types which cannot be further divided. Very basic data types, I can say. Okay. Yes, using primitive data types you can build, you can build complex data types. Okay, that is possible. Fine. So at first place, what is a data type? Yes. So let me give you people some notes on this. Data type is used to specify what type of value. Data type is used to specify what type of value you want to store in the memory. Okay, data type is used to specify what type of value you want to store in the memory. You know, Java decides how much of memory, or I can say, I'm sorry, just a minute. Yeah, one more point I would like to add here. Data type is used to declare variables. They represent a block of memory, I can say. Data type is used to declare is used to declare variables, and they represent a memory location, I can say, a block of memory. Yes, they represent variables. Basically, they represent a block of memory. Yes. Based on the data type itself, based on the data type, the memory is allocated to the variables. Based on the data type itself, based on the data type, memory is allocated for the variables. Variable, you know, they represent memory blocks, a block of memory. And variables are used to store some values. They hold some values. Variables, they don't directly hold values, but I can say The variables, they represent the memory blocks where you have the values actually. Yes. So this is about a data type. Now, for example, here, first suppose I would like to store a value in the memory. So if you want to store some value in the memory, so first of all, uh, we need to declare a variable, something like this, int I. Yes. So what is I here? I is a variable, and before the variable name, we are specifying the data type here. Int is a data type. So it indicates that I is a variable which refers to a memory location. In that memory, integer value will be stored. In that memory, an integer value will be stored, I can say. Okay. So when we do this, that means here we are requesting the JVM to allocate some memory. Okay. A temporary memory, I can say. So now I refers to a memory block, something like this. You can think of I, that variable I, as a name given to that memory. This will be allocated to store some value. Okay. Now, here, once you're done declaring the variable, now you can use it to store some values. You see, I equal to 100. So that means into that memory location, which is referred by that I, variable I, we would like to store a value 100. This is what we are doing. That's it. Okay. So this is what happens. Now, how much of memory is allocated here for this variable? For this variable now, 4 bytes. You see, when we declare a variable of type I, of integer type, 4 bytes of memory is allocated. So basically, we use data types. Here you see that integer itself indicates that the data type int indicates that we want to store integer value, and for that 4 bytes of memory is allocated. Always for integer variable, 4 bytes of memory is allocated. So that variable basically, it's a name given to a memory location, I can say, or it refers to that memory. That's it. Okay. So now, if you want to read the value which is stored in that variable, now from now on, I'll say just a variable, not memory location again. When I say variable, it refers to a memory location where a value is stored. But I won't use this always. Okay. So I'll just say variable, not memory. Now I want to read the value which is stored in that variable. So you can just do this, println of I. Okay. So println is a method. It's a predefined method. I'm calling it. What it does is simply it will print the value which is stored in that variable. That's all. So it prints 100. So now, similar to this integer type, or similar to this data type integer, we got several other data types as well. Let's go through them. These data types are called as primitive data types, the most basic data types, I can say. So let me list down them first. I'll list down those data types: byte, short, int, long, float, double, yes, boolean, and character. So in Java, we got 8 primitive data types. So the first four data types which you got here, they all are used to store integer values. Okay, the first four variables which you got here, we use them to store integer values. Yes. So let's see what will be the difference here. So we can declare a variable of type byte this way. You see, while in the as part of the declaration itself, you see in that statement itself, you can also assign the value to that variable. Okay, we can do this. Now, what if I declare a variable this way of type byte? Then what happens for this variable? 1 byte of memory is allocated. How much? 1 byte. Just 1 byte. And the range of values which you can store here in this variable is very much limited. It is from -128. Least value I can say which you can store in this variable is -128, and maximum value is +127. So you don't need to remember that figure. Okay. Yes, but just it is good to know. That's it. So now when we'll ask you, yeah, okay, I know few people here are familiar with Java, so they have to bear with me at least for a few days, a couple of days, uh, because there are people who are not familiar with Java, so I have to sync everyone here. Just need some time for that. Okay, though no one is complaining, I know that. Yeah. Okay, fine. Hope it is a refreshment for you people. So next, thanks. So next, you see, we got another data type short, which is also used to store an integer value. You see, I'm using the term integer. Integer means it can be a negative, positive integer value. It can be a negative numeric value or a positive number without floating floating points, or without decimal points, I can say. Okay, yes. So they can't take decimal points here. So short again, you see, you can declare a variable, a short variable this way. For this variable, 2 bytes of memory is allocated. 2 bytes of memory is allocated. Okay, and you'll find that the range of values which you can store here is minus. I'll give it in power. 2 power 15 to plus 2 power. Here cap indicates power. Okay, -1. Okay, minus 2 power 15. That cap here, think of it as power. Okay, yes, minus 2 power 15. That is the least value which you can store in this variable, short variable, and the maximum value will be plus 2 power 15 minus 1. Yes, so 2 power 15 means roughly it is 32,000 change. Okay, next we got integer type. So you can declare a variable of type integer. For this variable, 4 bytes of memory is allocated in the, sorry, 4 bytes of memory is allocated. Okay, 4 bytes is allocated. Yes. And the range of values here, it will be minus 2 power 31 to plus 2 power 31 minus 1. That's it. So this is about the integer. Next, we got long type. We can store a very huge value in a long variable. Okay, and long for long variable, 8 bytes of memory is allocated, and the range of values which you can store here is minus 2 power 63 to plus 2 power 63 minus 1. This will be the range. Okay, so that is a very huge value, a very big value. Fine. Now we got 4 data types here, which we can use to store integer values. But you see, of course, there is a difference here from data type to the data type, right? Yes. All the types, you'll find that they are used to store integer values, right? The long variable here which you got, it can take almost any type of value. Then why do we need this byte shortened integer again? Why do we need this byte shortened integer? So hope you got my question. Yes. To use the memory optimizely. Okay, memory optimization. You can say that just for memory optimization. I can say yes. So yes, saves memory. You see, for example, if I'm supposed to store a value 100 or the value which is in the range of 128 to minus 128 to plus 127, so it's better to use byte type instead of long. You can also use long here or integer also. You see, for example, if you use long to store 100 value 100, then you'll end up wasting um, 7 bytes of memory, because you see, you can also store that value 100 using byte variable, so which takes only just 1 byte of memory. Yes. So that will be the difference here. Okay. Yep. So this is about the integers, the numeric types here, you see, which you got. Fine. Any questions in this regard, please let me know. As I told you people, you don't need to mug up or by heart this range. Okay, just you should have just a knowledge of his this and this is enough. Just okay. So if it is clear, let's move on. Now we got float and double data types. So basically, they're used to store floating point values. Floating point values means they are also numeric values, which I've got, and they've got decimal points. The numeric values with decimals. The numeric values with decimals, I can say. Yes. So here, examples, your price, you'll see a price, right? Product price, $99.99. Attractive prices. So you see the decimal point, 90 point 99 or dot 99. Yes. To store such values, we use this float data type. We'll say price equal to, let's say, $9.99 or $99.99. Instead of saying $100, yes, they do this. Fine. So we'll add a suffix f. See, to store this type of values, we use this float data type. Okay, floating point values. We say they are floating point values. Yes. So here, for this data type, 4 bytes of memory is allocated. 4 bytes of memory is allocated. Okay. Range is negligible. Don't worry about range. Okay. Now, have you noticed it? The suffix f, is it mandatory for float types? I can say yes, you have to do this. Okay. So float values are represented using f. Okay. F is mandatory. If I remove f, it is considered as double type, not float type. You'll get an error. See, it says type mismatch cannot convert from double to float. There is another type called as double. It considers it as double here. Yes. So always add suffix f for float type values. Next, we got double type, another data type, double. Say it is also uh, used some ratio, let's say, whatever it is. So to store some floating point value, we use it. You see, you can do this to store a floating point value. Here, for double type, you'll find that 8 bytes of memory is allocated. 8 bytes of memory is allocated. So range is much larger than float. Okay. Yes. So the range is going to vary now. And the other thing is, you know, the precision also, I can say that it varies. For example, in float, after the decimal point, after the decimal point, that float type can take 7 digits. After the decimal point, the float type can take up to 7 digits accurately. Yes, the float type can take up to 7 digits accurately. Okay, yes. So, whereas the double type after the floating point here, it can take up to 15 digits accurately. It can take up to 15 digits, the double type. Okay, yes. That is the difference here. Yes. Now, the question is, which data type is has got higher precision here, float or double type? Which data type has got higher precision? Double has got higher precision. Yes. So that means, you know, um, the calculations where you need a higher precision, for example, currency and all, you see, in banks, scientific calculations, you should use double. Okay, double has to be used instead of float. Okay, yes. So this is about the float and double type. Next, we'll talk about Boolean type. Boolean. So when I say Boolean in Java, it represents only two values. Boolean type in Java, it just represents two values, true or false. That's it. A Boolean type, it represents only two values here, either true or false. So in some other languages, you might have come across other languages also, and also Boolean type, you might have come across Boolean type in other languages. So there, if you say Boolean, it might be yes, no also. In some languages, Boolean also refers to yes, no. And in some languages here, you might also come across these values like positive integer is considered as yes or true, and negative integer is considered as false. That kind of concept is there. But when it comes to Java, the Boolean type is very much confined to two values, true or false. That's it. Strictly true or false. No other value. Okay? Yes. So Boolean value has to be either true or false. Yes, please remember. So this variable can take either true, the two in small case, you see, the true has to be in small case, or it can take false. It can either take true or false here. That's it. Yes. Okay. So this is about Boolean type. No need to worry about the memory. There is no range here, just two values. That's it. Memory will be 1 byte, I can say. Yes. So next, we got the last type here, that is character. Character. Character means it is any alphanumeric value. It can be any alphanumeric value here. Character. Okay. So for example, I can do this. A. So characters in Java, they are represented using single quotes. You see the single quote here? It represents a character. In single quote, it represents a character. Yes. Okay. So it can be any special symbol as well. For example, dollar, or for suppose hash. Anything is fine. For character variable, you'll find that 2 bytes of memory is allocated. Okay. For character variable, 2 bytes of memory is allocated. Yes. Okay. Now, there is one important thing which you need to know about characters. Yes. What is it? So here, when we talk about characters or any value to that fact, you take anything, that values, that characters, they're not directly stored as is into the memory. Even numeric values also, they are not stored as is into the memory. You know how these values are stored into the memory? Any idea? How these values are stored into the memory? Yes. Just a minute, please. Just a minute. Just a minute. Sorry. Okay. Can you people hear me? Okay, fine. Thank you. Yeah. So, yeah, ASCII values, you're very much close, Karthik, but we got a slightly different standard which is used in Java. ASCII standard is used in C++ actually, but when it comes to Java, we got a different approach, different standard which we use. Okay, first of all, let me just explain this. So, how it works here. So, the thing is,
Hello.
whenever, hi Ramesh, can you hear me?
Hi.
Yeah, so we are in the
Yeah.
middle of the discussion. Okay, I'll talk to you after
Yeah.
the class.
Sorry to interrupt you. Myself, Ramesh.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Yeah, please mute your mic. I'll talk to you after the
Yeah.
class. Okay, you're muted.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Okay. So, yes. So, character values, they're not stored as is into the memory. So, first of all, it has to be converted into binary form, a binary format. Binary format means in binary format, every value is represented using, it will be a combination of zeros and ones. Uh, Ramesh, hi. You have to mute your mic. So I want to make sure that we can reduce this.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so that
Yeah. Yeah. That's fine.
the background noise we can just
Yeah.
reduce it.
I'm muting it.
Did you find the option mic? You can see mic symbol, green color circle. In that you'll see mic symbol.
Green.
You won't see that word
Green
mic.
colors.
Mic, just symbol will be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can click on that. That's it. You have to click on that. Yeah, that's it. You're muted. Thank you, Ramesh. Yeah. Okay. So, if you got any questions, you can unmute and talk to me. That's not a problem. Fine. So, you see, every value in binary form is will be represented in zeros and ones. It will be a combination of zeros and ones always. Yes. So, now this values which you got here, if you're trying to store A, this A also should be transformed into binary format here. It should be transformed into binary format. It has to be stored in that format itself. But the question is, do we have any procedure, a mathematical procedure, to convert this A value, that alphabet A, to binary format? Do we have any such mathematical procedure to do that? No, your machines only understands binary format. Even the numeric values which you got, the numbers, integers, float values, they also will be converted into binary format and they'll be stored into the memory. There is a procedure in mathematics to convert numbers, the numeric values, to binary format. And I don't want to discuss about that procedure because you are not going to do that anywhere. So machines will take care of it. That's not our concern. Here, the question is, how to, what is the procedure to convert this characters to, that means the alphabet to binary format? There is no procedure. We don't have any procedure for that. Then what to do? How your machine is going to convert this alphabet to binary format? What it does, you know? So A workaround is invented for this, I can say. So people, what they do is because there is no mathematical procedure to convert A to binary format. Instead, what they have done is they have just they got a workaround for this. So for each alphabet, or for every character, every character alphabet, not only alphabets, character means it includes alphanumeric and special characters or special symbols, which you see on your keyboard. Okay, so for every character, a numeric value is assigned. For caps A, it is 65. For caps B, it is 66. For caps C, it is 67, and so on like that till Z. And similarly for small a, 97. For small b, it is 98. For small c, it is 99, and so on like that. Okay, so this way you see, for every character, a numeric value is assigned, and whenever we try to store that value into the memory, what it does, the machine will consider the numeric value of that particular character. Okay, and it takes that numeric value and transforms it into binary format. So what is the equivalent value of 60 binary uh, equivalent binary form of 65? Is anyone familiar with it? I guess it is 0 1 0 0 0 1, right? Yes, one more zero. So this is the binary equivalent of 65. Correct me if I'm wrong. So this way you see, your machines have assigned, okay, they follow the standard. For each character, you got a numeric value which will be considered whenever you're trying to store that value into the memory. Okay, yes, and that value is transformed into binary format. So there is a procedure to convert that numeric value to binary format, that decimal value to binary format. Yes, so you know we got standards for this. We got standards for assigning the numeric values to the characters. That is a standard which programming languages will follow. So C++ follows ASCII standard, American Standard Code, American Standard Code for information interchange. That is one standard. But Java follows Unicode standard. According to this standard, every character has got a numeric value. Okay, so that programming language will follow that standard. You see, to convert that characters to binary form. Yes. So in that standard itself, you see this numeric values are considered for that alphabets. So Unicode stands for universal code. Unicode stands for universal code, I can say. So Java follows universal code. So what is the difference between Unicode and ASCII? You know what? In Unicode and ASCII, the numeric values you see which we consider for that characters are same. And what's the difference between Unicode and ASCII? So is anyone familiar with it? Yes. Yes. Is anyone familiar with the difference here? So both are used for the same purpose. Okay, both are used for the same purpose. In ASCII also, capital A, caps A, numeric value will be 65, and see that has to be converted into uh, a binary format itself again. Okay, that won't be the difference. There is another difference. You know, ASCII, it only supports English language. Sorry, guys. ASCII only supports English. That means in ASCII you'll find that you got the standard values only for English alphabets. In ASCII, that Unicode values are only defined. Sorry, ASCII values are only defined for for English alphabets. It only supports English ASCII. Okay. So in case of Unicode, you'll find that Unicode, it supports even other languages. Most of the international languages are supported by Unicode. Like not only English, you will find that in Unicode, that standard also provides the Unicode values for other language alphabets. I can say other language alphabets. I can say, or other language characters. Like most popular international languages like French, German, Russian, Chinese, Japanese. You got yeah, there are many languages. Okay, it's multilingual. So many languages are supported by Unicode, not by ASCII. ASCII only supports English. Yeah, that's the difference. Okay, yes. So hope you people got it. So now internally, you see, when you try to store a character, this is what happens. A Unicode value will be there for that character, which will be considered, and that value is transformed into binary format, and that value stored binary form value stored into the memory. So here, for suppose if I do this, is it valid? 65. You can do that. You know, if you try to assign a numeric value to this character variable, it assumes that Java will assume that this is a Unicode value, not a character. It considers it as a Unicode value of a character now. It considers it as a Unicode value of the character here. Yes. So now, see, don't use single quotes here. For numerics, don't use single quotes. If you want to assign Unicode value, don't use single quotes. So now if I print the value which is stored in that variable, you know what happens, what it prints, any idea? Yes, it prints A of 65. Yes, it's going to print A. That's right. Okay, it is going to print A. Yes, fine. So let me run this code. See, it prints A. Okay, so this is about the character type. And one important thing, as I told you people, If you want to assign the characters, then use single quotes always. For suppose y. And when I say character, you say just a single character. Into this variable here, you can just store a single character, not more than one. Yeah, you can just store a single character. Yes. Okay. So this is about your data types. I have to talk about one more thing, regarding casting or conversions, implicit and explicit conversions. But I'll do it in the next session. Okay. So I'll stop it here. So please let me know if you got any questions in the concepts which you discussed today. Yes. Whatever the concepts which you discussed, are they clear for you people? So anyone got any queries, please let me know.
Hi, Mukesh.
Yes.
Mukesh, Deepak here.
Yeah, Deepak. Yeah, tell.
Actually, I have some issues with the installation. Would you be able to help me to do another setup installation, or
Okay. So what issue you're facing?
actually, I was trying to install the Java JDK, but the Eclipse is not working for me.
Eclipse is not working. So what error you're
Yeah.
getting?
Um, it's giving me a whole sets of error. Probably I can send you the screenshot. I don't know whether it's going to help you or.
Okay, let's see once. I'm making you the presenter, shall I?
Sorry.
Shall I make you the presenter?
I don't know how you can you do that? Okay.
Yes, so that I can see your screen.
Okay, that's cool.
Fine. So I'm making you the presenter.
Hmm.
Now you can share your screen. You can accept
Sure.
that presenter invitation.
Download. Yeah. Okay. Well, can you see the error message now? This is the error
Just a minute.
message.
So Java was started but returned exit code 13. Okay.
Yep.
So you got Java in this machine?
Yes, I do. I got a Windows 8 though.
That won't be a problem. Where is this Eclipse? Where do you have this Eclipse as of now? Where you got?
Just on desktop. Just on the desktop.
Okay, fine. Okay, do one thing. Just send me the screenshot of this error. Let me just
Hmm.
uh, check this and let you know what's the problem. You have to search. Okay, I'll just
Yep.
search
No,
it and let you know. Okay, fine. So
no
let
problem.
me fix it. Okay, I'll take back the control. So uh, oh, just a minute. Weekend, we'll have class on Saturday, Sadbir. So I'm not on Sunday. Sunday we will take a break. Okay. Okay, fine. So uh, uh, whoever has missed the last classes, Sadbir, Veena, Vidya, and Ramesh, I'll talk to you. So I'll be sharing the Dropbox link with you people. So in that shared folder, you can just refer to those records. And I have explained that training schedule and all. So just brief you on what topics we are going to cover. So all such things have been discussed in that first record. You can go through it. And Ramesh, could you please call me once on this number? I'll just type it here. Ramesh, yeah, just call me. Yeah. Okay. And still, yeah, that is what everything is discussed in that. Okay.